Welcome to Doncast Deep Dive.
It's good to be back.
So this is a place where we take all the source material, the articles, the notes, the deep personal reflections, and we basically pull out all the essential insights for you.
Right. It's the shortcut to being really well informed.
And this particular deep dive, this is episode 6, is part of a series we're doing called Doncast Deep Dives, Albums for the Ages.
And this series is really a journey through the records that have, well, really shaped and inspired Don Phondeaux.
Exactly. He's known for blending music, storytelling, all that cultural expression. And for him, these deep dives, they aren't just album reviews. They're personal explorations.
Yeah, of growth, nostalgia, and just the incredible power of music to get us through, well, pretty much anything.
So today, our mission is to unpack his reflections on Davido's 2019 album, A Good Time.
And we're trying to figure out why this album, 5 years on, is still his personal anthem for joy and, maybe more importantly, for presence.
Okay, let's start right there with the promise that's baked right into the title. The basic facts are pretty simple.
Artist, Davido, released in 2019.
But the theme, it's this huge, unapologetic celebration of love, of luxury, and crucially, of living right in the moment.
It really does deliver on that title, doesn't it?
Completely. And what's so fascinating here is the context Don Phondeaux gives for revisiting this album.
Mm-hmm. He mentions he was in a period of solitude, a sort of forced pause.
Yeah, and he had to learn how to find satisfaction from within and, well, the hardest part, how to just stay present.
And that's when the album just kind of reappeared for him.
He calls it a foray down memory lane, and he said it felt like a promise that was actually fulfilled.
He describes it as a good time from start to finish, and that even the tracks that aren't super upbeat, none of them bring you down.
Which is a huge achievement for such a long album, right?
Absolutely. The album explores love, lust, the whole lavish lifestyle, and it creates what Don Phondeaux calls a melodic introduction to Davido's world.
That's a great way to put it.
It really is.
Yeah.
The production and the songwriting, they just work together perfectly to make that central idea, having a good time, feel completely true.
But here's where it gets really personal for him. He talks about his initial reaction to the big singles, like If and Fall.
Oh, this is interesting.
He admits he wasn't really a fan at first. When they were just standalone tracks, they just didn't click for him.
Wow. That's a classic case of a track needing the album's full context, because those songs were massive global hits on their own.
For sure. But his notes say they only grew on him once he heard them as part of the whole record.
And that context was set right from the very beginning.
Immediately, he remembers the first line he heard telling him exactly what he was in for.
Which was?
Everything I do is a lifestyle.
Okay, yeah. That's not just a brag, that's a mission statement for the entire project.
It's the anchor for all 17 tracks.
Mm.
And once he adapted to Davido's specific flow, that unique cadence.
We all locked in.
Exactly. He realized he was adapting to this whole world Davido had built. And he said he got to a point where every track felt like a new favorite.
That really speaks to the album's depth, doesn't it? The thing that was unfamiliar at first becomes the reason it's so addictive.
That world building is all over the project. As we move into the track reflections, we have to talk about the scale here.
17 tracks, and the features list is it's a map of global collaboration.
You've got Peruzzi, Naira Marley, and then Summer Walker, Gunna, Chris Brown. It's huge.
And yet it all feels so cohesive. It holds together because of that theme he sets up so early. Let's start with the literal intro.
Right. The intro immediately sets this very specific mood. It's Davido looking back on a life lived to the fullest.
But the production, Don Phondeaux notes, is both calming but also promises this rush that's about to come.
Yeah, it's like taking a deep breath before you just dive into a beautiful pool.
And then you get to a track that became a real favorite of his, Check Am. This is where that Afrobeats mastery really starts to shine.
He describes it as just groovy and infectious.
And technically, if you listen, the main hook is syncopated against the beat. And it just creates this relentless energy that pulls you forward.
His notes point to the irresistible hook as the key. He sees the song as this invitation to give your focused attention to someone who actually deserves it.
Right, so you're moving from just reflecting to actively engaging. You have to be present for it.
And that energy shifts almost immediately to this high-stakes feeling with the next track, Risky.
This is where the theme of risk, which is, part of that lifestyle, comes to the surface.
Yeah, the lyrics are about being enticed by a dangerous damsel.
And that storytelling gives it realism. Don Phondeaux points out how the song captures the thrill of that, and the sleek production just makes it feel even more urgent.
The bass is deeper there. You can feel it.
But the album doesn't let you stay in that risky space for too long. It pivots so well with assurance.
Such a crucial shift. It becomes this heartfelt account of loyalty and devotion.
And this is where the commitment theme really lands. Don Phondeaux observed that assurance offers real, honest commitment, not just empty words.
And the rhythm is softer, more melodic. It's a deliberate contrast to ground the whole thing in real emotion.
Exactly. But the track that he says carries the most thematic weight is Company. He calls it grown and reflective.
Yeah, a moment of introspection in the middle of a party.
And this is where the cost of that lifestyle gets questioned. Davido asks the big one, you want my company or you want my money?
Don Phondeaux calls that a real question for the successful. It really challenges you.
And it's paired with this mellow, laid-back groove. That slow pace is intentional. It forces you to actually sit with the question instead of just dancing past it. It's the album's emotional anchor.
So 5 years later, what does this all mean? Let's talk about the present-day appreciation.
Right, because time gives you a whole new perspective. Don Phondeaux says that listening now, the energy is still just as infectious. It still gets him dancing.
But the time away has also deepened his appreciation, especially for the genre itself.
Yeah, with 5 more years of Afrobeats going global, he sees the nuance and the mastery even more clearly now.
Let's maybe unpack what that Afrobeats mastery really means here.
Well, in this case, it's the complexity of the stories woven into those rhythms. He notes that the lyrics aren't just simple pickup lines.
Right.
They're poetic stories stitched together with rhythm and heart. It's how the language, the syncopation, the polyrhythms all blend together to sound so joyful and effortless, but it takes incredible skill.
And that deeper understanding led to what he calls his aha moment.
The big realization. He feels this is the album you play when you're really winning in life.
But winning, as we've sort of established, isn't just about success. It's about navigating love, loyalty, and risk all at once.
And he noticed that underneath all this celebration, there's sometimes a cold edge. And that observation is everything.
Why is that?
Because it hints at the sacrifice, the work, the vulnerability it takes to get there and stay there. It's not just a party. It's an earned celebration.
That makes the joy feel so much more real, doesn't it? And that insight connected to his own personal takeaway, the real synthesis of this whole deep dive for him.
Yes, he saw his own journey as a lover and a dreamer, reflected in the music.
The music helped him see a change in himself. He realized he needed to move from performing for others, seeking that external validation, to finally letting himself have a good time too.
So the music wasn't just a soundtrack. It was permission. Permission to feel his own joy and be present in his own life.
Wow. So the final thought is that while a good time is the perfect album for external success, its real power is encouraging internal satisfaction, learning to actually be in the good time, not just watch it happen.
Exactly. If we synthesize all this, the enduring message from the album, through Don Phondeaux's eyes, is a celebration of living fully.
In love, in luxury, but also being honest about what every moment really means.
Davido doesn't just give you a collection of songs. He offers a whole mood, a whole vibe.
A reminder to just let go and, enjoy the ride.
We've really unpacked the themes here. The celebration, the loyalty, the risk all, built on that incredible Afrobeats foundation.
So we want to leave you with a provocative thought. After hearing all this, what album in your life always guarantees you a good time?
Or what record pulls you straight back into your happiest memories?
Think about that. And see if those albums share that same combination of honesty and celebration that Davido mastered here.
Thank you for joining this Doncast Deep Dive into albums for the ages. We have reached the end of this deep dive, but the journey, it doesn't stop here.
If this moved you in any way, like the video so the sound can travel further. And please subscribe for more Doncast Deep Dives and stories from the Don's Domain.
And when you're ready to go even deeper, you can visit the Don's Domain at donphondeaux.com. There are more playlists, reflections, and full written journeys there.
And if you're stepping outside, don't forget to let your style smile for you. With a Stilo Phondeaux, discover more at donphondeaux.com. Lynn Stilo. Enjoy loudly. Stay sound.